of 25. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Hey, this is Gabe Neitzel. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And now, since I lost the toenail, socks 24/7.
Until the toenail grows back, I assume. Then you'll be out of socks jail.
I don't know. What if it looks wonky?
Oh, God! Hey, whoa, Michael.
Oh, God!
It's okay. It's Jim. Just say again really loudly what happened.
Okay, I burned my foot.
You can go sockless.
I thought so, too. I said there's no negotiation here. What about not looking at it? Didn't work. None of those options sufficed.
Not just averting your eyes.
As negotiations go, Joshy, I feel like you offered her a pretty good option there.
I enjoy having breakfast in bed. I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me. Most nights before I go to bed, I will lay 6 strips of bacon out on my George Foreman grill.
I think your foot should be able to roam freely in your home.
Yeah, these puppies are breathing.
I'm glad that we've convinced you.
The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride and she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth. Talk about it, we all about it. They making plans, we sit and count. Our chairs stacked just like a mouse.
He is feisty. And it's all because of the NFL. The NFL that has, given him so much over the years. There's a joke in there. I'm going to skip right over it. Chew, why are you all mad about the NFL this morning?
They're steering the Kansas City Chiefs to the Super Bowl because of Taylor Swift. More people watching. The calls they get are flipping ridiculous. I'm so sick of the Chiefs. Andy, yeah, I love him, but...
Not that much, I guess.
And then Philadelphia. So I was watching the game at a place that I like to watch games at with a bunch of friends and stuff. Philly fans are just so annoying. Are you with me or no?
I honestly don't know that many Philly fans. I don't know that many people from Philly. Haven't been around a ton of them. So I can't speak with firsthand knowledge.
Is it because they are known as being, instigators and rowdy, like you don't want to go there because you're going to get heckled?
It's not a lot of class. Class is a word I would not use like Buffalo. I mean, you're turning it to choke city, and it's frustrating. I get it.
Wait, but they can't choke if everything's rigged against them.
Can't be a choke if the deck is stacked against them.
Can it? Can't you ever overcome the choke?
Listen, we're trying to follow the logic here, bud.
You can't have both sides. It's either if you want Buffalo to choke, then it's not just the refs gave Kansas City the win. And
you don't think Kansas City? Look, when we went into Dallas, we were always like, all right, we're going to get 1, maybe 2 crappy calls. That's just the way it goes when you play on the road. But it's just like, come on.
Did you think there were bad calls in the game?
Obvious.
Did you think that there were bad calls in the game yesterday?
I just think they get calls. Yeah, I think there were a few questionable calls.
Sure. Maybe,
hold on. Didn't this happen in the NBA where the refs were saying, hey, kind of steer this game towards LeBron because it's going to help our ratings? No, that happened, Gabe.
It
did.
It did not happen.
It happened somewhere.
What you're referencing is a specific thing that was happening during the game, which they said you need to watch because these weren't being called properly. It happened to benefit LeBron in that situation.
No,
but they weren't saying to influence the outcome.
LeBron once baited Draymond Green into kicking him in the junk.
Sure did.
Like, that changed the game, but that had nothing to do with the officials. He just baited somebody into doing something stupid.
It's not that hard to bait Draymond into doing something foolish, if we're being honest.
This is the worst scenario for a Super Bowl that I would envision at the end of the year.
These are good teams. These are great teams.
I don't care. It just they just annoy me.
Look, I recognize that many, many, many people out there were hoping for a Commanders-Bills matchup for a number of reasons, right? The Commanders are the underdogs, and what Jaden Daniels has done this year has been remarkable. They're exciting, and, of course, couldn't happen to a better guy. Dan Snyder at home watching this team have all of the success after being forced to sell the team or sell his share of the team. And the Bills, as you mentioned, have been knocking on the door. They've been on the doorstep. We just can't cross the threshold. We just can't get invited in to the Super Bowl party. And yes, there's a part of people that like Josh Allen and everything that team has done. But what we got, the Eagles put up a 50-burger yesterday, guys.
I mean, 3 teams played really good football yesterday. 3 teams played very good football yesterday. The Eagles and the Bills Chiefs was a fantastic game.
Washington, the farther they got into that game, you could tell there was a pivot of, we made it. That's a good year. We made it. And then it was just...
Yeah, I mean, they weren't in the same weight
They didn't
class.
belong.
No,
they didn't belong.
They were the hot team that ran out of gas, kind of like the Packers did in 2016 when they got run out of the building by the Atlanta Falcons.
So, Chew, it sounds like you're not rooting for either team in the Super Bowl then. You're not rooting for the Chiefs or the Eagles.
I don't even know if I'll watch. I didn't watch last year.
Okay.
Who was last year? Kansas City and who?
Well, good. I'm glad
San
you're...
Fran?
Let's let you figure it out.
He figured it out because I think he watched.
Of course he did.
Especially like somebody who likes to host, who has a wife that likes to go out and do things, who have friends that want to watch football with
Frankie's
him.
in town.
Put my foot down.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wasn't going to watch, but Frankie happened to be in town and he wanted to watch, so I decided let's watch it.
No,
like that's how this is playing off. This is how
put
that's how
my
this
foot
is playing
down.
out.
No. And then my one buddy.
When's the last? Okay, this is a serious question. When's the last time you put your foot down and it actually meant something?
Well, he can put his foot down, but Angie will pick it right up.
Just get bulldozed over.
She agreed. No, party's done. Matter of fact, we might go somewhere. That's how disinterested I am in this game. How do you vote? See, I think you have to have someone you root for in the game. I mean, I want everyone to drop every ball and an interception every time.
You're rooting for the officials, are you?
I don't know who I'm rooting.
That was a good.
Who's the halftime show?
Kendrick Lamar. You could root for Kendrick Lamar and SZA.
Never heard of him.
You've never heard of Kendrick
What
Lamar?
did you? And I know we're not that into Andy. He's had great success. You like him, but he would be an all-time great coach if he pulled off a three-peat. One of the best to ever
What
live.
was the graphic that they flashed across the screen at the end that said he was tied with Don Shula for second most Super Bowl appearances? Is that right?
Don't care.
Could be. Yeah.
And Belichick would obviously be number one, but of coaches all time? Come on, Chew. By the end of the week, we're going to convince you to tune in and root for Andy Reid, at least, at the very least.
No. I'm not big on dynasties. I don't like dynasties. Unless they're mine.
Yeah, but this is partially yours. Andy's your
You
guy.
want Kansas City to win?
I do.
Yeah.
No. I want Buffalo to somehow.
That's not possible, pal.
What do you think? Somebody's going to forfeit? Somebody's going to withdraw?
Maybe if that tight end was you and would have caught that ball in the 35.
Full team catches COVID in 2025 and... You got to send the replacement team?
I mean, are they the next Cubs? Are they the next Red Sox?
The Bills?
Think about it. Think about their losses.
The Bills have passed.
Yeah.
Think about
they're just the Bills.
Think about their losses.
Yeah. They've been tough. They've been tough. They've had a couple of really
is there a
tough ones
curse
in
there?
KC.
Is there a curse in Buffalo? Like a
Yeah, it's called you have to play the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. I think I'm rooting for the Eagles, guys. I really like Saquon Barkley. I like him a lot. And what an arc, what a story, guys. You know, of him being with the Giants and wanting to stay with the Giants and have them build a team around him. And the GM was like, you're not that good. Yeah, we don't want you. No, in fact, go out and see if anyone else is willing to pay a running back in 2024 that kind of money that you want. We'll be here. We'll be waiting. And all he did was go to the Eagles, and has had this unbelievable season and is now in the Super Bowl. Like, that's a good one. I'm rooting for Saquon Barkley. What he did on that first touch.
after the Commanders had a nice long,
yes, 100%. You're like, that's what you got to do, Commanders. That's what you got to do. You got to chew the clock. What was it, like a 6-minute drive, 6 or 7 minute drive?
Almost 8.
17 plays.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's 17 plays. Their longest drive in terms of plays on the season.
I didn't
go
know
for
it.
it twice and then kick a field goal. Bad idea.
So bring it
for it twice.
That was the confusion. It's not like it was 4th and 10 when you decided
I know
to kick the
exactly
field
what it
goal.
was. Gambler's fallacy. I've hit it twice in a row. There's no way 3 in a row is going to work.
What are you talking about?
Gamblers, if you get something right over and over and over again, if you hit twice placing on red at the roulette wheel, you go, well, there's no way it hits a third time. And it's a bias because it's no more or less likely based on previous events. They're all independent events.
Right, flipping a coin.
Right.
That whole thing. So who are you rooting for, Joshy?
It's Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Kelsey, Chiefs.
You want the three-peat.
Yeah, it's excellence. We spent so much time hating Tom Brady and the excellence of the Patriots, and they gave us reasons to.
Another reason why I'm not watching.
I don't feel like the
Thank
Chiefs.
you.
Yeah,
Forgot about that one.
Put it on mute. I was actually watching in Spanish yesterday.
Surprisingly, you're not the only person I've heard of doing that.
Yeah.
They get excited
watching
over there.
what game? One of the championship games yesterday?
The one with
NFC
Brady.
championship.
He's
Why
terrible.
were you watching? Oh, because Brady was
Tom Brady
playing.
Brady
so
is
bad
awful.
So bad at
No.
it. It's just like we spent so much time hating Tom Brady that we're now watching something we've never seen before, and we don't like them because the calls go their way, despite them having no influence really over. Like, if you talk about the roughing the passer stuff in Patrick Mahomes, it's his play style. Because he draws out plays as long as humanly possible, and most of the time, when you slow it down and look at it, they're almost always actually penalties. Because the way he plays is so interesting, so fun. He holds the ball, he gets it out at the very last second. That guys, also they get frustrated. Like to say that it's not. There isn't some factor of we can't get past these guys, and it's driving me nuts. So I'm really going to try and hit them here, like. The Chiefs are fun. What is there to hate?
That they win every year.
So we can't appreciate greatness anymore?
No. Nope. Out.
That's because I'm with Josh. I'm rooting for greatness. I've never seen a three-peat. I'd like to see a three-peat.
What?
Like, we're already here. Why not?
I like how you're like, I've never seen it. Gabe, newsflash, no one has ever seen it. It's not just you. Like, no one has seen this happen.
Same reason I was rooting when the Patriots were undefeated. I wanted the Patriots to win once they got to the Super Bowl. Never seen an undefeated team. Wanted to see that.
Is it just a sign of the times? Is culture shifting? Because didn't everyone root for Michael Jordan and the Bulls? Like,
no.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember. Like, every person, no matter where they're from, was like a Jordan stan.
But wait a minute. I feel like we've had this conversation. My brain is going through the Rolodex of combos we've had here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy over the years. And I believe we've had this conversation related to no-hitters and perfect games, haven't we? Haven't we talked about being in the stands and being able to witness a perfect game or a no-hitter? And if it's not your team, you're not rooting for it? Even though that would be history.
I was rooting for Max Scherzer to get one against the Brewers.
Yeah, again, that's a little different because, again, your team is actually involved. Like, my team's not involved here. Like, if I was an Eagles fan, I'm not rooting for the Chiefs to see history. Right. No, because I want to see my team win the Super Bowl. I want to celebrate that. So I don't have a rooting interest here. I don't
what
care
about once it becomes apparent in that game, maybe the one that Joshy referenced, and I don't know the specific game, and I don't know how it shook out, but what about in that game when your team is out of it? Then are you rooting for the history? Then is it like, well, my team's not going to win, therefore I may as well root for the thing I've never seen before?
Could have a historic comeback.
And then you were there for that, I suppose. All right, the eternal optimist has returned, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, I've had a buddy who's left a game in the ninth inning with 2 outs where it looks like the Brewers have no chance, and next thing you know, they've scored 4 runs and it's a walk-off.
Baseball's also different. You'll lose 70, 80, 90 times and still be a good team.
So, Chewy, if I held your feet to the fire and said you have to pick a team you're rooting for, are you rooting for the Eagles then because you're anti-Chiefs?
Probably because one of my sons loves the Eagles. I think it's hard. Like, Duke playing Notre Dame. Who the hell do you want to win there?
That's what a lot of people felt in the national championship game, actually.
I mean,
Ohio
I can't stand Notre Dame, and I can't stand Duke. So what do? Don't watch. I'll find something else on TV. I'll watch X-Men or Mountain Men or something. I'll fill the space.
Could watch football, men, but here we are.
You guys really think? I'm telling you, there's a good chance I won't even watch. That's how little I care.
I'm putting money on you at least watch a single play of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's a sucker's bet. I agree with Gabe.
Yeah.
If nothing else, you're going to be passing through a room that has it on a television, right?
I don't know. No one's stepping up to have a party down here, so.
It's Monday. The game's not for another 2 weeks.
Hey,
Tomorrow.
I got a schedule. I got to know what's happening in 2 weeks.
Not
I gotta know what I'm
anymore.
eating.
Your elbow's bleeped up, so you can't really do anything.
All right, it sounds like we got 2 for the Chiefs, 1 for the Eagles, and 1 undecided at this moment. 800-990-3776. That is your carbless talk and text line. Less is more. Who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? Look, we're not saying you have to be wholly invested in it, but it is the biggest game of the NFL schedule, and there are 2 really good teams who will be playing. It likely won't be a clunker. I mean, Joshy, when we talked on Wednesday on Weekly Wager about the over-under of the Eagles game, was there any I feel like we had this conversation, and as I'm watching the Eagles click their way to 50-plus points, I was like, did anybody take the over?
No, we were all against it because to that point, they had won games by just defense and Saquon Barkley, and they decided, hey, guess what? We can cover the total by ourselves. It was 47.5. They scored 50.
That's what I thought.
50 points.
Who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks? We got a lot of stuff to get to this morning, including watching those games yesterday, watching the NFC Championship game, watching the AFC Championship game. Was there any part of you, Packers fans, that thought, my team, the green and gold, they are right there. They are right there. They could have hung with these teams, maybe not the Commanders, but they could have hung with these teams on the field on Sunday. We'll get into that right after this on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Still looking at a nice quiet ride across the entire system. No major delays, although volume's starting to pick up a bit more. Seeing a little bit of a tap of the brakes eastbound 94 coming out of the stadium interchange. Overall, though, we're looking pretty good. And check the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. It'll be windy today, increasing clouds with a high of 41. Tonight, isolated evening sprinkles or flurries, breezy with a low of 25. Weather is brought to you by Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center in Waukesha. Join their 2-man scramble tournament and play Pebble Beach for a chance to win cash through the 31st. Sign up at wisconsinindoorgolfcenter.com. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
So many of our youth carry unimaginable burdens. Anger, depression, even thoughts of suicide. At Rawhide Youth Services, we recognize their pain. We help them find hope and healing. For those that need a second chance at life, we refuse to give up on them. Please be a part of our life-saving work. When you donate your used vehicle to Rawhide, you're helping change the lives of countless youth in our communities. Go to rawhide.org/donate and help them realize a brighter future today.
Ready to tackle your home improvement project this winter? Exterior Pros and Baths is here to help you score big with quality home exterior and shower upgrades. As a 5-time President's Club Award winner, Exterior Pros is not playing around. With flexible financing, it's never been easier to invest in your home without breaking the bank. Get started today and save $2,000. Visit extpros.com or call 262-800-4274. That's 262-800-4274. Trust the pros and kick off your home transformation today.
Kevin Moret for Mentality. Guys, carrying extra weight around your midsection doesn't just make you feel bad, it changes how people see you. It makes you look tired, stuck, and feel like you've given up. But it's not you. Low testosterone is often the real problem. Most new Mentality clients start with only 1/3 of the free testosterone they need, which makes fat almost impossible to lose. Our doctors fix the imbalance and use semaglutide to burn the belly fat while keeping you lean and strong. Take back control this year. Visit mentalityhealth.com/radio for our New Year offer. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
Something amazing is happening here. Scientists are using AI to study how whales talk to each other. CDW experts can give researchers the power to process complex data with HP workstations, advanced by AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro processors. With easier handling of AI workloads, your organization can bring powerful insights to the surface. Make amazing happen. HP, AMD, and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/HPAMD.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With Venture X, earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn everyday purchases into extraordinary trips. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges where you just check in and chill out. Open up a world of possibilities with Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
A freaking catapult attached to his right hip. Like, I just made that up. A catapult.
That was good.
I kind of liked it. I was rolling with it, Rob.
Like a slingshot? Let's figure this out.
I'm calling him old catapult leg from here on out.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Our YouTube stream poll. Who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? The Chiefs to three-peat, the Eagles to win, or, in Chewy's case, the meteor. He wants the meteor to hit as the Super Bowl is going on. Mike says, I'm rooting for Kelsey to retire after the game, so maybe the league and the NFL media will begin to care about football again and not some singer who is not that good. Why is Taylor Swift taking shrapnel
It makes
on this?
It makes zero sense because what about the 2 previous Super Bowls they played in? And she's only been around for 2 years. It's not like, so they just decided, well, now since she's there, we're going to add Super Bowls to the list?
Did they even show her yesterday? I don't remember them showing her yesterday.
They did not show her a lot, I will say that. Even when Kelsey would, catch the ball. Speaking of, can we just stop one moment and have a conversation about Kelsey's pirouette? Dario and I ended up having a conversation, like a philosophical conversation about running ladders. I think they're ladders. Because, thank you, Chew. Because when you ran ladders, you stuck your foot in the ground and you pivoted off of it, right?
Yeah.
Was there ever anybody who was running ladders with you that would do the pirouette? That would do the
No.
The turnaround that Kelsey does when he catches the ball? Rather than sticking his foot in the ground and pivoting and changing directions, he does the... Anyway, sorry, that's a total sidebar. Let's see. Mike also weighing in saying Jen doesn't know Packers history. Mike, I got to assume that that's 4th and 26 you're referring to. Not only does Jen know about that, Jen was there. So take that this morning, Mike. So we asked you earlier. Oh, I want to get to this call. Dan is waiting patiently on the line. Let's go out to Dan in Sheboygan. You're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Good morning. Who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl?
I am rooting for the Kansas City Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. And the primary reason is I'm really rooting against Philadelphia. I do not want the tush-push deciding the game. I saw that yesterday. That's an embarrassment to the league. Or what was it, 3 or 4 straight offsides calls. The referees were almost going to award the touchdown to Philadelphia by default because Washington could start jumping outsides. That has to be – Kansas City runs something that at least resembles football and not rugby.
Appreciate the call.
I like that.
Gabe, what did you make of that, where they did keep going off sides, and then they were like, hey, we're going to award them a touchdown if you keep doing it?
It was BS. Because it's not like they were intentionally, because the way that the official worded it when he stepped up was like, well, if you keep doing this on purpose, guys, then we're going to reward a touchdown. But I don't think they were doing it on purpose, because the only way to stop the tush push, as we saw in the Kansas City game, you have to anticipate it. Like, you've got to be able to meet them with that snap count. And if you're a split second late, it doesn't matter. Jalen Hurts is getting into the end zone. So you have to jump the count. It's the Eagles who are sitting there going hard count. And when they went hard count for the 4th time in a row, they're jumping offside because you have to be able to anticipate. That's the only way to stop the tush push.
Do you think they should go back the way the rule was, that you cannot assist a runner in trying to move him forward?
I think so. It's going to be tough to enforce outside of that play, because how many times, Drew, have we seen like a running back get stood up and all of a sudden an offensive lineman comes pushes him from behind?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
well, that used to be illegal. You knew it used to be illegal.
Well, that's why the famous picture in the Ice Bowl is, I think it was Chuck Mersine has his hands like up in the air to show that he wasn't pushing Bart Starr into the end zone on his famous quarterback sneak in the Ice Bowl. I'd like to see it, because I mean, it's just it's not entertaining. It's a bad play,
but it's effective. For them, at least.
It's effective. It's 100% effective. And teams are doing creative things, like the Packers using Tucker Kraft to run it. Yeah. Teams are getting creative with it, but I'm just, Yeah, run a regular quarterback sneak. I'm sick of the tush push.
Chew, have you ever heard of that before? Have you ever heard of an officiating team saying that they would award the touchdown if a team kept getting hit with the infraction?
How can they do that? It's half.
Apparently, it is in the rule book.
I mean, how many half the distance to the goal line are there?
That's what they were.
You know what I mean?
About the broadcast. Like,
is there an infinite number of half?
Yeah, technically, yes. Because you can always just cut everything in half.
Yeah, but eventually you can't cut it in half anymore. It's not infinite, so maybe you can do it.
But it was
Am I right,
no,
Josh?
Having is infinite.
Say that again?
I said it is. Having is infinite. It is by nature. You keep having something.
I don't think so. I think you run out of space. Am I right or wrong?
I'm so lost. I got lost with the having and the semantics and what was going on.
Infinite? Having is infinite.
Until you don't have.
Nope.
No, because you can always have something. Something's always going to be there.
Can someone smart call into the show and tell us?
I'm putting it on the poll.
I also would like to know if anyone had ever heard of that rule before. If anyone out there, because it seemed pretty unanimous on social media that this was wait, what?
But obviously the officials were aware of it because even before the official on the field, Hockley, said anything, Pereira in the booth was like, hey, they can award a touchdown here. So obviously, I mean, it's something that the officials are aware of. It's the first time.
And I'm sure if it was the Kansas City game, they would have given him a touchdown.
I mean, they probably would have given him just 10 points.
My guess.
Probably would have given him 10 points.
Because they're...
Yeah, I mean,
it's Kansas City? That's a touchdown.
You get the touchdown, you get the extra points because that's what the penalty is. Not only do you get the touchdown, you get a touchdown that's worth 10 points.
Bomani Jones tweeted, they can just give a team a touchdown for that? That sounds like something your parents would say. If you do that one more time, I will give them a touchdown. That's exactly right. 800-990-3776. That's our Carbless Talk and Text line. Good morning, Chew. What's up?
Do you guys have any friends that think the league's rigged? Because I got one that is hardcore. He thinks it's rigged about everything.
Really?
Oh,
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with most conspiracy theories, Chew. And again, not all, but I would just say most conspiracy theories. You pull one string and it usually falls apart pretty quickly. Like if I ask your buddy, so the NFL's rigged. So Jerry Jones, who's the most powerful guy in the sport, is just cool with not going to a Super Bowl for 30 years and is just like, yeah, you know what? Give all the Super Bowl appearances to the Chiefs. I'm cool with that. I don't want to go to a Super Bowl. Like, the people who run these teams are the most egotistical, narcissistic people out there.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And they're just going to be completely okay with ceding all of the attention to somebody else. This is Jerry Jones, who, does things just for attention. And he doesn't want to win a Super Bowl?
Yeah, but Gabe, it's all about ratings, and what do ratings do, right? Ratings puts money in all their pockets.
Wouldn't that?
No, it doesn't.
Not just the Super Bowl play. Yes, it does.
No, because they
at the end of the day, they cut it up and they distributed it out equally.
Yeah, that money's already been
paid.
So
they don't want Jacksonville playing the Raiders in the Super Bowl.
That money's already
no
been paid.
one's going to watch.
That's whoever has the Super Bowl. Fox doesn't want Jacksonville in the Super Bowl because they're the ones who have to sell it. They're the ones trying to make the money off of it.
Wouldn't America's team being in the Super Bowl be beneficial to all? Couldn't you argue that ship would raise all tides if they were a dynasty?
Yeah, they need to remove that moniker or whatever tag from the
good luck
from the Cowboys, America's team.
Good luck getting that from Jerry. You have to pry that from his cold, dead fingers.
All right, let's get to some reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talk and Text line. Josh in Heartland says, I'm with Chewy. The Super Bowl is like choosing between robbery or vandalism. I don't like or approve of either of them. You know, that sounds like a Jen, Gabe, and Chewy segment, though, by the way. We compare NFL teams to felonies or misdemeanors.
That would make a good case for vandalism.
You think?
Yeah.
Augie from Fredonia weighing in saying...
very specific or all vandalism?
It depends.
Chewy, you're not alone. I have no interest in this Super Bowl, and I think a lot of America feels that way as well. Chewy, I always hope for a Super Bowl blowout, says Kevin in the 847. And why are the Eagles even showing up then? Foregone conclusion is Kansas City wins this one. Gabe, the Chiefs are a good team. They don't need any help. I assume he means from the officials and the referee. The Yard says, who flops more, LeBron James, Patrick Mahomes, or Travis Kelce? I didn't see Kelce flopping. Is Kelce a flopper?
I didn't see him flop once.
He reacted when Jordan Phillips punched him in the face. If we remember on that
Yeah.
Mahomes touchdown, he kind of threw his arms up. But yeah, you got punched in the face. That's what you do.
Dave from Aaron weighing
Trying
in
to draw
saying,
attention to that.
I'm cheering on the Eagles, which makes me vomit in my mouth a little bit, simply because it's the NFC. I'd rather see the champion be the team that knocked us out. That is a theory. That is a mindset that you hear a lot of times. If you're going to lose to the champs, lose to the team that goes on to win the whole thing, makes you feel a little better about how you are. That being said, we're going to talk next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy about how far away you feel like the Packers are from those teams that you saw competing yesterday on championship weekend. That's next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Gabe?
With a local Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. They've been serving businesses and individuals in the area for nearly 15 years, including a long-standing commitment to the healthcare industry. From expansion to treasury management, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions across the healthcare spectrum to meet the complex moments you're navigating. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Starting to see some delays now. Eastbound 94 from about 76th Street through the stadium interchange. Westbound 94 is clear right now. As a matter of fact, the rest of the system is as well. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, very windy, increasing clouds, a high of 41. Tonight, isolated evening sprinkles or flurries, breezy with a low of 25. Weather is brought to you by National Liquor Mart at 16th and National in Milwaukee, packed with the best beer, liquor, seltzer, and spirit deals in town. Open 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. daily, where your satisfaction is their plan of action. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Kyle Walsh for Universal Windows Direct. Right now, buy 2 windows and get 2 free. There is no limit and no payments for 3 whole years. Restrictions apply. If you already have a price quote, they'll beat it. Schedule your free in-home estimate today.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
With a local Milwaukee team, Fifth Third Bank knows what success looks like. They've been serving businesses and individuals in the area for nearly 15 years, including a long-standing commitment to the healthcare industry. From expansion to treasury management, Fifth Third offers a full suite of financial services and solutions across the healthcare spectrum to meet the complex moments you're navigating. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC.
Do you want to have more fun watching the NFL playoffs? Try playing Sleeper Picks. Just download the Sleeper app today and pick more or less on at least 2 players' projected stats. You can win up to 100 times your cash. For a limited time, Sleeper has a special offer. New users have to just play $5 and they'll receive $55 in free entries. Just download the Sleeper app today and use code BRAD, B-R-A-D. Must be 18 years or older. Promo code, location, and other restrictions apply. Minimum deposit $25. See terms of use for details. Please play responsibly. Call 1-800-426-2537 for help.
Save big money on everything for your painting and staining projects now at Menards. Add beautiful color to your projects with Minwax water-based wood stain. This penetrating stain delivers color that showcases wood grain in one single coat and dries in 1 hour. Get a quart for $15.49 at Menards. Plus, check out Minwax's 2025 Color of the Year, Violet, in store and on Menards.com. View the weekly flyer for more great deals going on now through February 2nd.
Save big money at Menards.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
You can answer the question.
What's the question?
Can the Packers win without Aaron Jones on Sunday?
Yes. Will you stop? You know what he is? He's like the little devil on the shoulder.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy reacting to yesterday's NFC Championship game and AFC Championship game that now pits the Eagles versus the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks. We asked you this morning who you're rooting for. People are divided. Lots of reaction rolling in on the Carbless Talk and text line 800-990-3776. I wonder if they will be divided on how close the Packers are to the teams that will be representing the conferences in a couple of weeks. The Packers played the Eagles twice this season. The outcome was the same in both games. But if you compare the Eagles franchise to the Packers franchise head-to-head, the Eagles have made their third Super Bowl since 2017. Green Bay Packers have not. Green Bay Packers famously have not been in the Super Bowl since the 2010 season. What's the difference? Why are the Eagles having so much success and the Packers coming up short? Chew, what does your gut tell you about the biggest difference between the Packers of the last decade or so and the Eagles of the last decade or so?
Front office. Packers miss on too many picks. I mean, I don't know. What's the running count now with defensive guys drafted over the last X amount of years, Gabe?
It's a lot.
It's quite high.
Yeah.
How many do they hit on? Not a lot.
Not as many as he'd like.
Not a lot. And I think that's the difference. It kind of catches up with you, especially with first-round picks, Because Ron, I mean, you go back to Ron, and he missed on some first-round picks pretty big. But Ron made up for it in the mid and later rounds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you get third, fourth, fifth round, sixth round picks, eighth round picks that turn into be starters, that's how you build a team. But I really think it's the front office. It's just they need more players. They need more players. Need more A players. And I think Philadelphia has them, and that's why they've been so successful. I mean, they had 460 yards in this game. They're a machine.
They've got Philly's got like this interesting history in terms of the draft where they kind of mix in these top 10, top 15 picks. Like they haven't been like the Packers where the Packers are just kind of consistently good, and rarely are the Packers in that position to draft a lot of these top tier guys toward the front half. Where, I mean, the Eagles have had, it's been a little hit or miss, right? Like, I mean, the Super Bowl they went to in 2017, it was a completely different crew, completely different head coach, completely different quarterback, and even their backup quarterback's the one who won them that Super Bowl, and they had to go through a reboot in order to get to where they are now with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni and all the turmoil that Sirianni has brought on them as a head coach as well. But to Chewy's point, they're just they're more aggressive in acquiring a lot of the talent. Like you think about Saquon Barkley, how aggressive they were there. We're very fortunate that the Titans decided that A.J. Brown wasn't worth paying, so they go out and get one of the best receivers in football a couple of years ago and give him a big new deal when he was on the last year of his contract. Devontae Smith was a first-round pick that they were able to hit on. Their offensive line, they've hit on all those picks. You look at what they have on their defense, Chew, they've been able to hit on those first-round picks. And even just this year, with they've got two guys who are finalists for Defensive Rookie of the Year, in Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. So they have hit on a lot of those picks, but they've also been more aggressive when those opportunities exist to go grab those players.
Another thing you look at yesterday is you have two tight ends that are on the backside of their career, right? Backside, Ernst and Goddard. Ernst had 11 catches for 104 yards.
Yep.
And then Goddard had 7 for 85. They clearly went into that game and said, okay, the tight end's going to be a big part of the game plan here. And that's what we're kind of waiting for with Tucker Kraft. Yes, we know he's good. Use him. Elevate him to an A player, not just a B player. This whole shared, well, I don't want to get him mad, so let's give him 5 targets. And, he might get mad, so take your 4 best players, get them the damn ball, develop them, and move on.
But the Commanders spread the ball around. The Eagles, playing the Commanders yesterday. The Eagles spread the ball around. I mean, Saquon Barkley is going to be the focal point of that offense, but Jalen Hurts made a lot of great throws yesterday, too. For everybody out there who has been critical of Jalen Hurts, saying that he is not a top-tier quarterback, his accuracy has improved throughout his career, and I think he's been playing some of his best football this season. So what I was saying to you guys in the production meeting this morning is, why can't the Packers follow this blueprint that the Eagles have laid down, which is Saquon Barkley is obviously the straw that stirs the drink, right? So you are going to focus on him, and yet somehow the Eagles still manage to get Smith involved, get Brown involved, get all of these other players involved. Joshy, does it not seem like a way that you could sort of cater your offense to follow that blueprint?
Yeah, I mean, they present it interesting because Jalen Hurts is more mobile, uses his legs more. On the outside, they are better than the Packers would be with 2 top-end talents. And then Saquon Barkley is sort of one of one in the NFL right now, really only compared to Derrick Henry. You have the best offensive line to match with that and a fairly talented tight end. Like, where they are is largely because they've hit their draft picks, and then when the opportunity to be aggressive presents itself, Roseman takes the chance and most often hits on it. Like, we can be critical of the Giants letting Saquon Barkley go, but what are they going to do with Saquon Barkley? Have 4 wins instead of 3? Like, what does that really matter to them? It's just being aggressive when you have the right pieces. They got Jalen Hurts, young, who's building a career. They built around him and said, this is our time. And they went all in, and they've been all in. And then you match in getting a top 3 draft pick in Jalen Carter and getting him at the 9th overall pick.
So are we all in agreement then that the biggest difference between what the Eagles are doing and what the Packers have done is their picks? Is that they've been more aggressive in free agency and the Packers have not hit on their draft picks? Because I've got the Eagles list here. I've got the Eagles draft list in front of me, and it is one hit, 1 star after another, especially at the top. You mentioned Quinyon Mitchell. You mentioned Cooper DeJean. They've also got Jeremiah Trotter out of this last draft class. I'm not ready to put a grade on that draft class yet, but it is certainly trending in the right direction. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, that from the previous. Those are the top 2 picks, both first-rounders. We saw what Jalen Carter can do. He's a menace. Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Devontae Smith we mentioned as their first-rounder. Like, it just feels like they have had more success with their top draft picks than the Packers can claim currently. Is that a fair statement to make, Gabe?
Yeah, I think that's fair. But yeah, it's the reason why I don't look at this as a blueprint for the Packers is because they just have too many stars. Like, the Packers don't have that type of star power.
What I'm saying is, can you start going out and getting it? Obviously, when Goody makes a pick, he hopes that those people will become stars. And I know that's part of the reason why he continues to draft Georgia football players, because they had success at the highest level in college. So theoretically, that would translate to the NFL. In a weird twist of fate, the Eagles picks from Georgia have all panned out. It's like Goody picked the wrong guys from Georgia or something. Howie gets the good ones and he gets the we'll see ones.
Yeah, but again, it's about where are you drafting these guys? Jalen Carter fell to 9. Jordan Davis was 13. Like, these guys are in the top half of the draft. Like, there's a difference between guys taken in the first half of the first round and guys taken in the second half of the first round, where the Packers are typically drafting. And yes, in those opportunities that they've had in the first half, they haven't hit those. Whether it's Chewy, Van Ness, whether it's Quay Walker, like those guys, they just haven't hit on when they've been in those spots when they've had those opportunities.
Yeah, but they're supplementing. They do a good job supplementing their draft picks with trades. I mean, don't forget Darius Slay. He was a trade from Detroit. He's a hell of a corner. You said A.J. Brown, and you said, was Saquon? That wasn't a trade. That was
free
just free
agency.
agent, right? Mm-hmm. But they do a nice job. They do a real nice job. Shoot, we talked on this show during the draft. Hey, what about Cooper DeJean, right? Mm-hmm. And then he passes on him. Kid's a hell of a player. Yeah. Going to be a Pro Bowl player, Lucas Van Ness was the 13th pick of the draft.
Yep.
You're drafting a guy who didn't even start in college. That's a good trend to start.
Well,
let's do that again this year.
So Jordan weighing in on the Carbless Talk and Text line, guys. Jordan in the 603. It comes down to the GM, of course. Goody thinks he's smarter than every other GM in the league, thinks he can find a hidden gem in the draft, and refuses to go with the obvious pick. Usually it's a fan favorite, while the Eagles don't overthink it, and their drafts have hit more frequently. Is that fair, Joshy?
No, it's not. I think you... Like, if Goody had pick number 9 and Jalen Carter's there, he probably makes it. Like, there's certain opportunity.
I don't know about that. I think the Packers shy away from character, quote unquote, questions.
I think that's antiquated. They used to do that. I don't think they are that much way anymore. They have guys in there who have, like, what's his name? D-End, who ended up playing. He had character concern issues after they traded Preston Smith.
Angabare?
Brenton Cox Jr.
Oh, Brenton Cox Jr.
Also, didn't Aaron Jones get suspended from his school and have to transfer? Or was that Jamal Williams?
That was one of the two.
Yeah. So, like, those things have happened. Now, Carter is, like, there's deaths involved there. That's a whole different realm. But, like, you just draft. You had to take good guys. I don't know. What do you mean he thinks he's smarter? Like, he has a type. They draft that type. It's worked. The Packers are continually successful. They don't have great players. Like, Jordan Morgan was a fit because they were weak at that. We saw how weak they were at offensive line depth. They probably didn't take Cooper DeJean largely because they thought they had their slot in Keyshawn Nixon, and they paid him to do that. And then Cooper DeJean was there, and it's like, well, maybe you should just be drafting the good football players. Maybe you should not overthink it, but, like, Goody's not bad.
No,
I don't
he's
think
not
that's
bad.
fair.
No.
He's just not great right now, and hasn't been.
Well,
2 of his drafts have been great, though.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The last 2 drafts have been pretty good. And maybe they hit a third in a row. Because, again, you go back and what did they do in 2020? They drafted Jalen Reagor in the first round.
Yeah, which was a terrible.
He might not be in the NFL right now.
So it's not like their last few have hit. The Packers' last few have hit. If they can supplement this draft, hit it again like they have the last couple of years, and then supplement with a key trade, big free agent acquisition, they might be able to kind of up them to where they need to be in terms of the talent that they need to compete with the Eagles, the talent they need to compete with those two teams that we're playing over in the AFC. But, I mean, if you can do all of that, great. To me, this all comes down to, can Jordan Love take the step to the next level? Because when you watch the quarterback play yesterday, it was functioning at a very high level. Like, yes, some of those guys have weapons around them, like we just discussed with the Eagles. Terry McLaurin's pretty good for the Washington Commanders. But all of those quarterbacks, I mean, the best weapon for the Buffalo Bills is a running back in James Cook. Like, their wide receivers.
And Josh Allen.
Exactly.
From an
That's what I'm
offensive
saying,
standpoint.
for Josh Allen.
I mean, with his legs.
Yes, but still, like, it's not like Josh Allen has all this talent around him. I would say the wide receivers for Buffalo, pretty comparable to what the Packers have. But Josh Allen is just so damn good that he takes that rest of that roster to an AFC Championship game and has the ball with a chance to tie or take the lead with under 2 minutes left. So Jordan Love needs to start elevating his game as well. Maybe it was part of the injuries this year and he didn't run as much, because that was certainly a big part of the game plan for all 4 of those quarterbacks yesterday, running when those options were presented to you. If Jordan Love elevates his game, that's the biggest thing. Look at that Commanders roster isn't very good. Jane Daniels just that damn good, and he took him to an NFC Championship game.
If you want to talk about that 2020 draft class, which you mentioned, and Jalen Reagor, the reason people forget about that is because they also drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round.
Which was laughed at.
He was a running back that they had their quarterback. What are they doing? Why would they do that? Oh, now he's in another Super Bowl.
That guy's a 4th round pick. What are you taking him in the second round for? That was
Gabe,
the reaction
from
when
a
he was
roster standpoint, you don't think the Packers are that far from the Washington Commanders? I mean, it feels like they're very far from where the Eagles are. When you look at the Eagles roster and you look at the playmakers out on the field yesterday, it's stud, 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 stud. I don't know that you can do that with the Packers right now. You hope there's potential. Maybe you have some studs out there. Josh Jacobs looks like a stud.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, Quinyon Mitchell and
but there
Cooper
is even a disparity between where Josh Jacobs is right now and where Saquon Barkley is right now.
But, I mean, like, guys like Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, who we're calling studs now, weren't studs when they took the field in Brazil. They were like, hey, these guys were some good draft picks. Maybe they develop, right? And that certainly helped. Now, again, the Eagles have a lot of established guys, whether it's Barkley, whether it's Brown, whether it's Dallas Goedert, whether it's Devontae Smith. They have a lot of those weapons, and I don't think the Packers can match that. But certainly, I think you can get better quarterback play than what the Eagles get if Jordan Love continues to develop. That's the biggest thing for the Packers, to me, is that the easiest way, the quickest way to get to where you want to go is have Jordan Love play like he's an elite quarterback. Get him to that top level that he needs to be at. And if he's not, it's going to be tough for you to get to an NFC Championship game. It's going to be tough for you to get to another Super Bowl unless your quarterback is one of the best in the league.
But the problem with next year is the receiver free agent class stinks.
Correct.
It's terrible. Mm-hmm. So you're banking on what? Drafting a guy in the first and second round that's going to have an amazing rookie year?
It's going to be tough.
Isn't it right in front of us? Guys are available. We've been talking about them.
Who's available?
Go get Max Crosby. Go get Myles Garrett.
I'm talking receivers. I'm talking from the receiver standpoint.
Yeah, okay, I gotcha.
Because you see what – I mean, there's still an element of Jamaican tank here, right? I mean, Philly was so good yesterday because they put up 460 yards of offense.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I did the Packers even have 400 yards this year?
Yeah, they had.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I think offense eventually is going to win you the ball games, and that's why, 6-7 games in, I was like, I don't think they can win a shootout because they can't put up 470 yards of offense and just can't do it. So, I'm very reserved about next year because what's in the kitty?
A lot of money.
It's rolling back the same thing.
Got a lot of money in that kitty. Be aggressive with it.
And I noticed nobody mentioned coaching in this whole thing. Is there any part of any fans out there who think that there is a disparity in the coaching? The coaches, look, Andy Reid is great. Andy Reid is probably the best current coach in the league. So we're not saying that Matt LaFleur is in Andy Reid's category in his stratosphere right now. But was there a big difference between what you saw from Sirianni? Was there a big difference from what you saw from some of the other coaches who were out there in the championship weekend? So you've got players, which is Goody, I suppose. It's Goody obtaining the ingredients for the stew. You've got the guy making the soup in LaFleur. And then you've got Jordan Love, who I think we are all in agreement needs to step up, needs to play better, needs to look more like the quarterbacks that were out there this past weekend, whether that's Jaden Daniels, whether that's Jalen Hurts, whether it's the two guys who were in the AFC Championship game who we have watched year in and year out. Chew, I want to talk to you when we get back after this break. What is it for Jordan Love? Where do you need to see him make the biggest leap between this season and next season to close the gap between the Green Bay Packers and the teams who were representing their respective conferences yesterday on the field? That's next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
A weekly pulse of the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. Tune into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Marcus and his son Chris, a 1995 UCLA hoops champ himself, talk about everything happening in the Bucks world and are joined by some of the biggest names in basketball. Plus, they'll answer your questions too. Stay on the beat of the Bucks. Find Here District now, bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Kevin Moret for Mentality. Guys, most new clients start with just 1/3 the free testosterone they need, and that puts you at an unfair disadvantage. No matter how hard you push yourself, it's an uphill battle. Free testosterone drives everything, your energy, strength, and metabolism, and without it, nothing works. At Mentality, our doctors restore that balance so your body works the way it should. Energy comes back, fat burns off, and you feel like yourself again. Make this year different. Visit mentalityhealth.com/radio for a special New Year offer. That's mentalityhealth.com/radio.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Football season. Best time of the year and my favorite time of the year. This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman. On game days, my favorite teammate is a cold carbless in my hand. Premium cocktails in a can made right here in the great state of Wisconsin. Maybe it's when I'm at the tailgate ahead of kickoff or getting ready at home for the game. Carbless is there. 0 sugar, 0 carbs, and gluten-free. Carbless features classic cocktails like margarita, Paloma, and even Moscow Mule, and vodka cocktail flavors like cranberry, lemon, and peach. Find it on your next grocery trip. Carbless. Less is more.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Dr. Aaron Holtebeck and his team at Holtebeck Eye Center make vision care a top priority. They are your premium provider for eye care and corrective eye surgeries. Dr. Holtebeck has been helping local patients with their eye care needs for over 20 years. Dr. Nausheen Abbas joined the Holtebeck Eye Center team last September, and her practice philosophy is to provide patient-centered medicine by giving all options. Located in Brookfield near the corner of Calhoun and Capitol. Learn more about their services at holtebeck.com.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
There's a lot of sodas now that are prebiotic sodas
they
as
don't
well.
work. They're called poop. No, they're really called poop, I think. You buy them on Amazon.
I thought you were going to stop talking.
You got a lot of rust in you. You know that?
On 94.5 ESPN.
Did you see the update on the story we talked about last week? Talked about it quite a bit. The Paul Skeens 1-of-1 baseball card that the kid in California pulled. And the Pirates had offered this huge package of things so that they could get the card. Well, over the weekend, the kid politely declined their offer, saying, I'm going to send this card to auction instead. But there was actually an update to the update, Gabe.
Well, the Pirates said, hey, we'd still love to offer this kid an opportunity to meet Paul Skeens, whether that's here in Pittsburgh, whether that's when we go out and play the Dodgers. We'd love the opportunity for these two to somehow get together. So the Pirates, honestly, the Pirates played this thing perfectly from day one. They put out that package before, like when the card was announced, so they get that out there then the kid pulls the card, it gets back out there, this package is out there. Oh, the kid said no. Hey, we still want to do the right thing and have you meet Paul Skeens.
Like it, Chew?
Sweet.
Yeah, that was cool. That's a classy thing to do. No sour milk. You know, hey, if the Pirates want it,
they can buy it.
We'll bid at the auction.
This is a win-win-win, except for the Pirates, who have to put up a pretty penny for that. So who will end up with the card, Joshy? You're the guy who's in this card space, at least the most of the four of us. Is it going to go to one of these eccentric card collectors who just wants to have the Honus Wagner and the Paul Skeens uniform patch card?
Yeah, I mean, for all of us who watch Pawn Stars, the nature of the market is basically who are the people who have the money, the capital to offer up $1 million. It's going to go to probably like an investment fund or like something like that, or one of these super individually rich people. Like athletes get into this game, like social media people get into this game. Like it's a limited people, and that's why the auction is the best place for it, because it allows everybody to have a bid on it. So like I wouldn't rule the Pirates out. it's a billionaire over there. He has money. He can spend $1 million. And the great thing with all these things is when you go to auction and you buy art pieces or stuff like this, works nicely with your taxes.
Yeah, but I'm more
the price
interested.
could go up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more interested to see if this thing loses value or gains value. It's kind of like Bitcoin, you know?
Oh, it's just like anything else, Chew. Like your piece of art that could, go up in value or go down in value.
Gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a different form of gambling.
It's like when I told these guys, Chew, that I bought a Trevor Lawrence baseball card. He obviously doesn't play baseball, but I think Topps put it out. And I was like, Trevor Lawrence, he's going to be the next big thing in the NFL. Womp, 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 womp.
Those markets go up and down weekly. If somebody's having a good tear, their card market will rise. So
Jen's hoping Liam Cohen comes through for the Jags.
If he goes and wins a Cy Young.
Oh, yeah. That thing will skyrocket.
More expensive. More money.
For sure. All right, we'll take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Get back to the Super Bowl and the Green Bay Packers right after this.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Now we're seeing the delays eastbound on 94 coming in through Waukesha County from about Brookfield Road all the way to Calhoun. We've also got some delays then from 84th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange to 35th. Westbound's backed up from about 16th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Northbound 4394, watch for delays right around the Plainfield curve all the way up to Oklahoma Avenue. Another pocket of heavy traffic just as you're getting to the high-rise bridge. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Very windy, increasing clouds with a high of 41 tonight. Isolated evening sprinkles or flurries, breezy with a low of 25. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
All right, fellas, let's tackle the age-old question. What do I get her for Valentine's Day? Don't stress. Send foolproof flowers from the Books Company and wow your Valentine. And get 25% off your entire purchase. Books makes it simple. Choose the Quickie Book. With a click of a button, get their best-selling bouquet right on time for Valentine's Day. She'll brag about it for weeks. Or pick from their collection of unique modern designs or go for their flower subscription, the #1 husband life hack, and be the hero every month. You really can't go wrong. Books aren't just any flowers. Their flowers are cut fresh from where they grow best. So you get bigger, brighter blooms that last longer. Some are even grown on the side of a volcano. She'll be blown away by how stunning they are. Valentine's Day is February 14th, right after the big game, so don't fumble the flowers. Get your order in now. Go to Books.com, use my promo code Canty for 25% off. That's BOUQS.com, promo code Canty. Books, promo code Canty.
Hey, this is Jen Latta. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
And now, since I lost the toenail, socks 24/7.
Until the toenail grows back, I assume. Then you'll be out of socks jail.
I don't know. What if it looks wonky?
Oh, God! Hey, whoa, Michael.
Oh, God!
It's okay. It's Jim. Just say again really loudly what happened.
Okay, I burned my foot.
You can go sockless.
I thought so, too. I said there's no negotiation here. What about not looking at it? Didn't work. None of those options sufficed.
Not just averting your eyes.
As negotiations go, Joshy, I feel like you offered her a pretty good option there.
I enjoy having breakfast in bed. I like waking up to the smell of bacon. Sue me. Most nights before I go to bed, I will lay 6 strips of bacon out on my George Foreman grill.
I think your foot should be able to roam freely in your home.
Yeah, these puppies are breathing.
I'm glad that we've convinced you.
The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamara. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited.
Keep getting us your picks this morning and your explanation. Chiefs, Eagles, Meteor. Chewy's not rooting for either team. Claims he will not watch the Super Bowl. Gabe is calling his bluff. A couple weeks ago, when the season ended for the Green Bay Packers, we went through and graded the offense, the defense, the special teams, and we never got to coaching. So I want to make sure that we do that before the season wraps up. Theoretically, we have about 2 more weeks, but why don't we just get it taken care of today? Where did the coaching rank for you this season? You know, I think about last year and the way that things wrapped up, and Matt LaFleur was flying high. You know, they beat the Cowboys. It's looking like Jordan Love is going to be the guy. Jordan Love is going to continue taking steps, progressing. He's going to elevate this team to, you know, the hope was an NFC championship appearance. That obviously did not happen. You could make the argument that the team regressed under Matt LaFleur this past season. So let's start with Matt LaFleur, and then we can do the coordinators, specifically Jeff Hafley. Chew, what grade would you give Matt LaFleur this season, taking all things into consideration?
I'd give him a B. I mean, they still went 11-6, which is pretty darn good, even though they didn't really beat anybody. My only concern, I don't think LaFleur wants to be a 50-50 team. I just don't think he does. I think he wants to be a 60-40. My only question with him is sometimes his in-game adjustments don't happen. And that's what makes Andy Reid so good. I mean, his preparation, his scheming guys open is one of the best in the league. But he gets to a point where he gets a little flat, and his play calling is a little questionable. So that's the only thing I question about his in-game adjustments, which are big.
Gabe?
I would go B+. I mean, they were top 10 offense. They were number 5 in yards. They were 8 in points scored. I think he deserves credit, Chew. Like, maybe he doesn't want to be a 50-50 guy, but that's what this team needed to be this year in order to have success. And he made the pivot. They were able to have Josh Jacobs have the year that he was able to. They won double-digit games. Yeah, they were disappointing in the postseason, but if we're taking a look at the offense and we're going, hey, there's not enough stars here, they still won 11 games. Like, I think that the coaching isn't the issue here. So I would go B+ for Matt LaFleur. Are there things that could be better? Absolutely. So I'm not going to go up to an A. But for a team that doesn't have that much star power, for a team that probably wants to throw a little bit more, they still finished 8th in points, 5th in yards. It's tough to ask for more.
So I'm watching the games yesterday.
As a whole, Jen?
Yeah, the whole season as a whole. But if you're watching yesterday,
I mean all the position groups.
It's tricky because I feel like we should probably group Matt LaFleur and Adam Stenavich in together, right? Like, how are you going to grade Stenavich separately from LaFleur? That's a tough hair to split.
I was talking more about the receiver position because if they're critical of the D-line and they fire that guy, you have to be critical of the wide receiver position because if anything, you would say this group regressed. Yeah.
I'm going to go a little lower than you guys did on Matt LaFleur. I'm actually leaning more like B- C+. Mostly because Josh Jacobs was incredibly successful. Josh Jacobs is obviously a game changer for this offense. And yet Matt LaFleur, with all of his scheme wisdom, with all of his play calling wisdom, couldn't figure out a way to make the play action work. Like, that was weird to me. And I talk a lot about sequencing. I don't think this is like a, high level footballing. But when you're watching Andy Reid, when you're watching even Nick Sirianni, and the way that they sequence plays, it always felt like something early was setting up something late. And for whatever reason, Chew, and you got to tell me if I'm way off here, when I'm watching Matt LaFleur play calling sequences, I'm never feeling like the early sets up the late, or you're seeing something get lined up one way, and they run it, and then all of a sudden, boom, lining up but changing it. I don't see that level of creativity, and that I think is so. I will say this: after watching yesterday's games, I docked Matt LaFleur a little bit more because I feel like there's a huge gulf between the play calling that I saw in the championship games yesterday, Gabe, and what I saw from Matt LaFleur consistently throughout the season.
So he's not very good. The roster isn't very good.
No. I'm not saying he's not very good. I'm just saying
if you're putting him at a C+, that's average at best.
I thought that the offense was average at best.
Then how did they finish top 10 in all these categories?
We talked about that, though. The rest of the league, that's what I'm saying. This is like the eye test versus the stats. Again, we've gone through this for the entire thing. We did this for the defense. We did this for the offense. What we saw didn't match how they measured up to the other teams in the league.
And if you watch Kelsey in his last handful of games, he works the center of the middle of the field so well.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree with that?
Uh-huh.
And I've said this all year long. Where are Kraft's signature plays?
Yes, we have.
They seem to all be by the sideline, and he breaks one tackle, and then he takes it for whatever. All of his big plays seem to be on the sideline. What they do with Kelsey is dude, can defensively you do something? He's killing us to the middle of the field, and as soon as they address the middle of the field, what's he do? Runs a corner route. So, Jen, to your point of setting plays up, yeah, Andy Reid's one of the best. One of the best. I don't watch Tucker Kraft play and go, oh, that's Fox 2 XY Hog. Bread and butter. That's 322 Y stick. Oh, bread and butter. It's all this looks different, and this looks different, and that's different, and this. I don't know.
Because, again, we can look at the stats, Gabe, and I understand what you're saying. Oh, top 10, all those things. But they lost almost every game in the division this year.
Yep.
And there were times where Matt LaFleur's play calling and Matt LaFleur's time management and his timeouts hurt the team. I don't want to go as far to say it cost them wins. Maybe you could argue that in one game at least it did. But there were things that it didn't feel like his best work. And this is also including the coaching of Malik Willis, because you can't ignore that either, right? I don't want to sit here and, again, to Josh's point, be a prisoner of the moment, only focus on the last 3 games or only focus on the games against division opponents. What he did with Malik Willis was incredible, and I'm not taking that away from him. But I felt overall the coaching was just average, and that's why I was saying I'm vacillating between the B-, C+.
But if you want to talk about creativity, I know it's boring to talk about, but their creativity and the way that they got into a lot of their runs this year was really good. I know it's not spectacular. I know it's not Xavier Worthy running the orbit motion and flipping it out, and it's not all this Ben Johnson, Andy Reid, super exciting stuff because you're throwing the football. But the way they ran the football this year was creative and different than what they typically do. I don't want to overlook that and say, because they had to overhaul the entire way they run the football to make this team successful. I don't think you win 11 games by accident in this league. Do I think that you can still be better? Yes, but to go from 9 wins to 11 wins, have Jordan Love be banged up as he was throughout the course of the season, to have his mobility not be a part of what you can do on a week-in, week-out basis, I feel that Matt LaFleur did a pretty darn good job with what he's got to work with.
Well, that's the key phrase. So then are you blaming Goody with what he has to work with?
Sure, but also, Chew, I'm not gonna say, oh, Goody's a D or an F, because I also understand that this is a process. You and I at the beginning of the season, if I'm gonna sit here and go, hey, I don't think this is a Super Bowl roster, I also understand it's a process. You're not gonna put together, you're not gonna trade away a future Hall of Famer 2 years ago and be a Super Bowl team 2 years later. It just doesn't happen like that. It doesn't happen for a lot of teams like that. There's a process to go through it, and yeah, Goody's got to listen to his own advice, be a little more, to be a little more urgent, use that urgency word that he was talking about, and be aggressive in going after some guys this year. But they were the youngest roster in the league, and I think that factors into everything. You grade a little bit on that youngest roster in the league curve when addressing everything. Do I think that Nick Sirianni is a better coach than Matt LaFleur? Probably not. They've got a lot of really good talent there.
And Nick Sirianni has a hell of a resume, by the way.
Yeah, and look, if there's ever a coach that was ever made by his coordinators, look at how it fell apart. That dude was basically a game away from being fired a year ago, and he goes and gets Kellen Moore, and he goes and gets Vic Fangio this year, and that kind of rights the ship.
But Gabe, if you take Detroit, for instance, right?
Yeah.
What questions do they have going into next year?
Oh, they've got their questions about their coordinators.
That's it.
They like, but that's
What else?
That's a really damn big
Yeah,
question.
it is, but that's it. Theirs is like, our defense was beat the crap, and we're going to have them back, so we'll be fine. What are the Packers' questions? What do we do at receiver? What do we do at D-line? What do we do at cornerback? There's a lot of big questions.
And that's just personnel, Chew. I got folks weighing in on the Carbless Talk and text line who are reminding us that they started slow in too many games, and that has to be on coaching and not being able to be in a position to go out there and compete. That from Clint in the 312. Let's see. Augie from Fredonia says, I think LaFleur gets a C. Like what was said, his in-game adjustments are non-existent, so sometimes not right. Don't forget his use of the challenge flag. Totally awful. Meanwhile, Justin says a C+ is beyond embarrassing, LOL. So it seems like there are people on opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to how to grade LaFleur this season. And again, it is tricky because the metrics show they were a top 10 team. The record shows they were a very good team. But I think sometimes you put the eye test there and go, I know what I'm watching, and it just doesn't look that great. I also don't want to ignore what LaFleur did with Malik Willis under center and his ability to get wins when Jordan Love was injured. He deserves credit for that as well, but that's why I kind of sit there in the B-, C+. Could probably be swayed either way, to be perfectly honest with you. Could probably be swayed for the B-, could probably be swayed for the C+, just depending on how the wind blows. But I'm telling you, after watching yesterday's games and the way that those coaches managed their rosters and handled the game and the play calling, I was like, God, these guys are really good. These guys are really, really good at it. Let's take a break on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Roll on after this. We'll put it on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. What would you grade Matt LaFleur this season for the Green Bay Packers? I know the new year is a time when a lot of people want to hit the reset button, whether it's fitness or wellness or taking better care of yourself. And let's be honest, guys, feeling confident isn't just about how you look. It's about how you feel as well. That's where Quintessa Aesthetics Center comes in. Now through March 31st, they are offering special packages to help you start 2025 as a more confident you. Listen. You're looking in the mirror and you're thinking, I feel different. I feel older. I feel slower. I feel sluggish. Quintessa has options for you. Wellness, weight loss, Botox, skincare, even IV therapy. All of those things will help you feel your best and look your best. Check it all out at myquintessa.com to make this the year you feel the most confident inside and out.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have a crash now on 41 southbound, right at the ramp from Capitol Drive. It's off on the right shoulder. Beyond that, though, a little bit delayed right around the North Avenue curve to Mayfair Road. Eastbound 94, we're slowing down from about Brookfield Road all the way to Calhoun. And then again, back on the brakes from 84th Street through the Stadium interchange, with the westbound side backing up from 35th Street to Mitchell Boulevard. Traffic is brought to you by the Neal Group. They know how to minimize your taxes to keep more money in your pocket. Visit nealgroup.net to learn more. That's nealgroup.net. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, very windy, increasing clouds, a high of 41. Tonight, isolated evening sprinkles or flurries, breezy with a low of 25. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
All day, every day. The Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Empower. Tim collects bobbleheads. A lot of bobbleheads. Baseball bobbleheads. Race car bobbleheads. Little Chihuahua bobbleheads. He's got an entire room strictly for bobbleheads. Does he need them? No. Is his wife mad about it? A little. But Tim works with Empower, and he got good at money, so he can be a little bad. Ooh, horse bobblehead. Classy, Tim. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Lowe's knows how to help you save time and money, no matter the job. That's why we can deliver supplies to your job site as soon as same day, so you have more time to get the job done. Because when you need it fast, we've got you covered. Lowe's knows pros. Valid on eligible in-stock orders and select zip codes placed by 2 p.m. for same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Fees vary based on purchase. More terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
It's a key ingredient called Tesnor. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. Total T is backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ROCK to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321321. That's ROCK to 321321.
Stay up to date on the Green and Gold all off season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I just figured if I got the yellow ones from Mexico, I could slip those in without her. Did you know the Viagra in Mexico is yellow?
Had no idea.
Yeah.
Wait, can you just paint it? You just drop it in a little food coloring?
You probably
call
could,
it
like an egg. I'm going to try that.
Easter has a new meaning in the Chimera household.
On 94.5 ESPN.
You can always join the conversation. Carlos Talk and text line 800-990-3776. Less is more. Continue to take those calls. We'll continue to take those texts. But Chewy, I just also found it funny as we're talking about, well, I guess we could continue to grade because we've really only talked about the offense. And we'll get to the thing I find funny here in just a little bit. But defensively, so you are at a B for Matt LaFleur, right?
Yeah.
So defensively, what are you giving Jeff Hafley?
First year, not all the players he wants. I'd give him a B plus.
So it's interesting why
I'm happy with.
Well, like if I think
Happily,
LaFleur, it's the same thing where he doesn't have all the players that he wants, and yet he gets downgraded. But because Hafley doesn't have all the players he wants, it's okay. We'll look past that. He gets a B plus.
There isn't really anything I disliked about Hafley this year. He was aggressive. He had his moments. The Chicago game, obviously, the last play of the game there where he let the receiver inside was a mistake. But overall, it's just I thought he did pretty well with what they had. They didn't have Jair for a huge part of the year. Mm-hmm. Had to make some adjustments there. The thing that bothers me about LaFleur really is the in-game adjustments because that's so big offensively.
Yeah.
You can't let the defense dictate what you are going to do.
How much of that is also having the youngest roster in the league? Like, how many adjustments were you guys able to make in 93, 94 when you were growing versus 96, 97 when you actually went to the Super Bowl? You're probably able to do more in 96, 97, right?
Oh, of course, because we had such a veteran group, and we have all been together with Brett for 5 years now. It gets easier, but once you determine, this is more of a Goody thing, once you determine a player isn't getting any better, mm-hmm. you got to either live with that or move on. So this next year, if they're going to roll it back, I don't know what they're going to do from a receiver standpoint. We're in agreement that they're not going to sign T. Higgins to $30-something million a year. Correct?
Well, because it's going to have to be, again, it's the Bengals, so you never know. But if you are a smart team with T. Higgins, you franchise tag him and then trade him. And Because
but you got to trade him and pay him, which makes it even worse for the Packers because they're not going to do that.
Exactly, which is why I think it's even more of an unlikelihood that the Packers go after T. Higgins because you're getting hit on both ends.
And the free agent class after that is a bunch of older guys.
Yep.
Which would help, but it's not the future. So I just don't know what they're going to do there because, we all talk about Jordan Love needs to play better and get better. Well, you know how you do. You know what helps that along?
Weapons.
Getting him a number one receiver, right?
Yeah.
So I'm just afraid of, and look, I don't want Sammy Watkins. Okay. All those people that got excited because Sammy Watkins was coming to town. I don't want another one of him.
I don't remember people being that excited about Sammy Watkins.
Nobody was actually excited about Sammy Watkins.
They weren't?
No. We made fun of him a lot. Don't get me wrong. And maybe you just took us making fun of him for people. We were making fun of people who were excited. But I actually don't know of anybody who was super excited and rushed to the pro shop to get a Sammy Watkins jersey.
Yeah. Are you going to be excited if they don't do anything in free agency and just add a receiver through the draft, maybe a second-round pick?
No.
Are you going to have confidence next year going, we are going to be so much better offensively?
No. Could I talk myself into them being a little bit better? Maybe, but I don't feel great. I want that clear pecking order, Chew. The one thing, again, when, and I feel like this is talked about, but whether it was your era when it went from Sterling to Robert to Free, right? Or whether it was the Rodgers era when it was Driver and Jennings and then it gets handed off to Jordy and then Devontae, right? There was always a clear pecking order even as those guys were developing. So, even after Sterling left, Robert was clearly the number one. Your guys' year, Robert was the one till he got hurt. Then it was Free, and you bring in Andre Rison. There was always a pecking order, and, even tight end-wise. You guys had that pecking order. You guys, everybody knew where they fit in instead of, we just kind of figure it out. We don't need a number one. They'll figure it out amongst themselves. I want that order. And maybe that'll be easier in the beginning part of the year with no Christian Watson, but it'd be even easier if you go out and acquire somebody.
Because if you look at Philadelphia yesterday, who put up 460 yards offense, they only had 5 receivers touch the ball, and one of them was Saquon with 1 catch.
Yeah.
So the damage through the air was really done with 4 guys.
Yeah.
I just want to see him stick to a guy, run with him. Because I've said this before, Gabe. You know what players want to do? Play. They want to be on the field.
Well, you want to know the easiest way to develop, Chew?
Play.
You actually get snaps, instead of kind of it seemed like they took a half measure. And whether it's right or wrong, I think they need to make the decision of, hey, here's who's getting the snaps. We're going with this. And just kind of after 2, for Romeo Doubs is going into year 4. For the other guys going into year 3. Just determine who you like and establish that pecking order.
Gabe, in my heyday, we were constantly playing 65, 70 plays a game. You know what I didn't get? Tired. You're supposed to be in shape.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be able to run forever. That's why you do a run test at the beginning of camp. If I was playing and I knew it was best for the team when Keith came in and then he had to play. We went 3 series to 1. But you know what? During that one series that he went in and they were moving the ball, I'd be like, geez, I'm crow. I just want to be out there.
Yeah.
Chomping
at the bit.
And you would constantly go through the amount of plays throughout the season. Christian Watson, 26 plays. Jaden Reed, 28 plays. I'd be like, no. I want to play 55 plays. I want to be the guy.
You clearly want to have some depth, right? I think you want to have some of that.
Sure, you want depth.
But at the same time, you need guys that you can count on. If you just have depth, oh, man, all these guys, depth for depth's sake isn't real depth, right? Just because you have a bunch of guys there doesn't mean that's a good thing. You still want guys that separate up at the top. And again, I feel like we keep coming back to it no matter what. We try to talk about the defense here. We keep circling back to the offense. And that's the biggest thing, I think, for the Packers this offseason. Yes, I think it would be nice to get a premier pass rusher, but who knows? Maybe Tom Brady convinces Max Crosby, hey, we've got a plan. Stick with us. We're gonna figure this out, and we're gonna turn it around faster than you think. Maybe Max Crosby buys into that. Maybe Myles Garrett decides, yeah, Cleveland, we were a playoff team a year ago with Joe Flacco. We can get back there this year. And those guys become.
But that's not really.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, if those guys aren't available, that would be nice to have. That premier pass rusher where you can get pressure with four, that would be nice to have. But at the same time, I'm not sure if those guys are actually going to be available.
But trading is not Goody's MO.
Nope.
Right? I mean, everyone brings up Malik Willis. You know how many teams wanted Malik Willis or were willing to trade for him?
That'd be zero, Bob.
Zip. I mean, how many people would want Max Crosby services?
A lot.
I would think half the league.
Yeah, a lot of people would line up for it.
Right? So, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting offseason. It's going to be whether he's like, all right, we're going through this thing through the draft or free agency, or I have to make some trades. Because I don't know who is out there in the free agent defensive end market, but my guess is it's probably mediocre at best. Would be my guess.
Yeah.
Because most teams are keeping their studs.
Yeah. That's the thing. You got to find a team that, for whatever reason, is willing to part with a stud, or said stud is forcing his way out of that situation. That's what you're trying to find.
Yeah.
Tune in to Behind the Bucks and the Bucks Plus Audio Network, presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR benefits consultant. Behind the Bucks dives deep into Bucks and Six, a culture unknowingly created by former Bucs star Brandon Jennings. Take a look inside the Brandon Jennings story, the origin of Bucks and Six, how it became a rallying cry, and what it truly means to Jennings and Bucks fans alike. Find Behind the Bucks, bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and wherever you get your podcasts. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
We have an accident on 41 southbound, right about at Capitol Drive. It is off on the right shoulder, so watch out for that. Delays now on eastbound 94, stretching from 76th Street through the Stadium interchange to 35th. Southbound 43, a little heavy from Capitol Drive all the way down past Center Street. And then on northbound 4394, we have the left lane blocked with a crash right about at Howard Avenue. That's backing things up through the Plainfield curve. Traffic is brought to you by the Knickerbocker on the Lake. Discover the Knickerbocker on the Lake, Milwaukee's historic hotel since 1929. Experience elegance, modern comfort, and unforgettable stays. Book now at knickerbockeronthelake.com. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. Very windy, increasing clouds, a high of 41. And tonight, isolated evening sprinkles or flurries, breezy with a low of 25. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Whether you are a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit our great city of Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. Hey, maybe you got friends coming in from out of town. St. Kate the Arts Hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site art galleries, and nightly live music, you and your friends will enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. That's stkatearts.com.
Hey guys, let's talk about something important. That's you. Hey, it's Brad Nortman. Taking care of your health and appearance isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and ready to take on the world. At Quintessa Aesthetic Center, they make it easy. With experts in advanced skincare, body contouring, and anti-aging treatments, Quintessa's here to help you stay sharp and at your best. Trust me, when you look good, you feel even better. So why wait? Visit myquintessa.com and take the first step toward a more confident you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, Hims can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED. but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected. Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war.
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird. All right.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
The best mornings
In the morning light,
start with Wrangler.
pull on my jeans and I feel alright.
Jeans, jackets, and shirts that get your day started on the right foot.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Good mornings make for better days.
I pull my blue jeans on. I pull my old blue jeans on.
Wrangler, for the ride of life.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
The source
What's a
is
click below dumb?
you. No.
That's fine. No, that's what I was getting
Good
at.
pop. Good pop.
I know.
Unnecessary.
I'm not dumb. I'm one click below dumb. We need to find out what that word is.
Don't you want to be one click above dumb?
Oh, that's right. I'm one click above.
On 94.5 ESPN.
A lot of people were watching specifically the AFC Championship game yesterday, Chew, with the thought of there has to be a better way. And it's a conversation that usually happens this time of year. Usually there's a questionable spot. Can't quite figure out where the ball goes, and there has to be a better way. And that's what everybody was feeling after a fourth down quarterback sneak. I don't even want to call it a tush push, because Josh Allen wasn't really being pushed. Maybe if he was by his teammates, he could have gotten the first down. But ultimately, he's stuffed on a fourth down. It's a turnover on downs, big play, big moment in the game for the Bills. And it was just hard. Like, the one official had it at one spot, one official had it at a different spot. They go to replay, decide to uphold the official who said, no, he was short of the line to gain because, well, there was nothing really definitive on replay. The best angles just kind of showed you Josh Allen's back, and you couldn't really tell where the football was and had it cross that line to gain. I guess maybe I give the NFL too much credit, but I think if there was a better way, the NFL would at least be testing those things out. Like the NFL testing out this past preseason, Chew, okay, do we figure out the line to gain without the chain gang on the sideline? Yes, we have it there as a reference for players so they can kind of see it, and, you know, in case this technology fails, we have it there. But I feel like if there was an efficient way to do it better, the NFL would be testing something out. And maybe I'm giving the NFL too much credit. Maybe that's on me.
There are two things to add to this. There already is a chip in the ball, which everybody demands. It exists. It is just hard to figure out where exactly the ball is, especially with where guys are down. And there are cameras and additional cameras being added to all the stadiums to try and get as many angles as humanly possible.
Yeah, and they're still adding all the technology to all the, which is why they didn't go to the getting rid of the chain gang this year and digitally doing first downs, because that technology needed to be installed into every stadium to begin with. But everybody goes, well, if tennis has this thing, well, tennis is just one thing. Is the ball in or out? Yeah, like it's, did the ball hit the line or was it outside of the line? Like, it's super easy. Like the NFL, was his knee down? Was forward progress stopped? Was his elbow down? Like
was there a defender in front of the camera?
Yeah, like there are just so many different things that go into, hey, they should be doing this like tennis does.
Why can't they get a view from the top, though? I mean, that would probably give you the best view.
Yeah.
Is it because because of player safety, they don't want a drone flying over?
Well, but you have
players?
to. But again, then you have to, because a lot of times we've seen this before. Like, camera angles can lie. Like, if you're not right on top of it, like, it can tell you one thing or the other because of the angle of where the camera is. So getting a camera
it's one more thing.
But it's
anything,
like, I don't know how you get a camera specifically over every yard line to be able to go, yep, we can tell online.
I'm just saying on fourth down, Gabe, where it's so critical. The one thing the NFL should know by now is games are decided by millimeters in seconds and things like that, right? I'm just saying on 4th down or 3rd down, if there's a quarterback sneak, something where you know it's going to be very important to get this call right. I mean, we have the tech. I mean, we got technology out the wazoo.
Yeah, I understand.
I don't know if they care, though. I don't know if they care.
But so here's the thing. I think they do care. Again, otherwise they wouldn't have tested the first down thing that they did this past preseason. I just think if there was an easy, efficient way, like I think there's technology that exists that you can marry that chip in the ball, and when you decide to determine when somebody's down, I think there's a way to do that. I just don't think it's efficient enough. You know what I'm saying?
What does the chip in the ball do? What does it do?
Just kind of gives you information. Yeah. Well, it just gives you information. You know, again, like Justin saying, oh, put a chip in the ball. The chip already exists in the football. All right? The chip already exists in the football.
Yeah, it's how do you marry when someone touches the ground, either body part, where that is in relation to them, the yard marker, and all the people around them. Like that, it's an inexact science. There's too many variables currently. Can it be improved on? I think absolutely yes.
I think we can do better. But also I think like to just completely rely on technology, I think it would take too long to spot the football.
Right.
On a down-to-down basis. I think it would just take way too long, and nobody would be in favor of that either.
So what was your take on the 4th down call? Did he cross the line?
I can't say definitively that he did.
I think he probably did,
yes.
but I can't prove it, which is the inherent flaw there. Like
I'm with Josh. Probably. But that's not the standard, right? Like if one official marked him short, you need indisputable evidence in order to overturn that call, and that did not exist. Like everybody who's out there who's like 100% positive, you can't be based on the video that's out there.
It looked like it.
Yeah, looked like it.
But I've also seen it go the other way when it looked like it and it very much wasn't. So, like, I understand. And the thing here people forget is like VAR, the video assisted replay in soccer, that's also more static because that often comes up with it's like offsides. And that has gotten to the point where it's so exact, the fans now hate it.
Yes.
Because
somebody's jersey, like you're running and your jersey just happened to get out in front.
Or
now
a
it's offside.
kneecap on a step. So your body's behind him, but your knee's ahead of him. That will count. Like you have to also factor in how exact do you want this to be? Because I think there's going to be a point where it's so exact you're going to be like, oh, come on.
Yeah. Where like the spirit of the rule gets lost.
Because why wouldn't you want it exact?
You would think that, but then you get the exact and you get the proper, and then it starts like baseball has it too, where there could use a lot of work there as well. But like that exactness and that kind of taking away from the game as you understand it and changing it so vastly. So something that looks to your eye like it wasn't offsides will be, because Gabe mentioned, the jersey flaps over, the kneecap, the tip of your toe, like. That stuff will change games.
I know, but if we have the technology, why don't we use it? Like in baseball, why aren't they going to electronic strikes and balls?
Because it's always
right.
But
it's always right.
But it's not always right now, which is why they haven't gone to it.
It's mostly right.
It's mostly right.
Is it more right than the human?
The studies they've done, it's about 95% on both ends, where the human's about 95% and the machine's about 95%.
The one thing you don't have that is so glaring to us is the very obvious misses don't happen. It's those like close ones that sometimes umpires get right or wrong. Same thing happens for the machines.
But technology. This is enough. Wouldn't it be enough to deter you as a bettor?
Look, man.
You know, I mean, just think of how many people won money and how many people lost money on the 4th down call. And you know, the people that lost money are sitting there going, this is garbage. That was a first down. This thing is rigged.
But you know
now you know where the rigged comes from.
Well, but you know that going in. Like, if you bet on yesterday's game, not realizing that there could be a call that goes against you, like, that's on you at this point.
I've said it on this program more times than I can count. I'm betting on the Chiefs until they lose. Guess what? Hasn't done me wrong.
Keep riding
Keep doing it.
Keep riding it.
Let me know how it turns out, because I'm not watching.
You're telling me you didn't even watch a single play of the Super Bowl last year? Single play. Didn't see any. I think you did.
I didn't watch a lot of them.
Yeah.
I did, because the guy got hurt. Yeah.
And that happened toward the end. That's what I'm saying. Like, and everybody, Myron Metcalf, our buddy Myron from Milwaukee, works at ESPN.com covering college basketball, had the perfect tweet. Yeah, okay, you're not watching the Super Bowl. 100 million people are. Don't care. Like, because so many people's reaction was, oh, Chiefs, Eagles, I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl. Yeah, right, you're not. You're going to tell me you're not going to watch the last football game of the season? You're going to be jonesing for that football game in 2 weeks? For anybody who's like, oh, I'm not going to watch the Super Bowl. No, you're watching. We all know you're watching.
But are there two teams in any sport that you wouldn't watch for the championship game? Baseball, basketball. Are you watching Yankees play the Dodgers? I ain't watching
I did.
one pitch.
Just did. That literally just happened.
As I say, also, like, yeah, it's just on. It's TV. It's entertainment. It's something to do before you go to bed. Like, it's... I don't know what the statement we're making is.
How do you cheer for both teams you don't like?
Yeah, I gamble on it.
And then you're gambling on your wallet. Yeah, gamble. Yeah, do it with the wallet.
Yeah,
Stop at our friends at Potawatomi. Drop $5-10 on something.
Responsibly. I mean, it's not necessarily like I love watching football. I love the dramatics. I love the talent that's out there. I want to watch as much football as I can because I'm going to be without it until next August.
That's the beauty of sports, Chew. Like watching yesterday, yes, it didn't end up the way that Bills fans or a lot of people who are rooting for the Bills turn out, but you can't recreate the drama that we felt watching that game in the fourth quarter yesterday. Like, that can't be recreated. That's so hard to recreate a TV show.
Like, just think of it. And there's also an aspect of, like, I don't want to miss out. Imagine not watching that previous matchup where Gabe Davis scored 4 touchdowns for some reason in a single game. Like, that was some of the best entertainment I've watched. And I've watched Game of Thrones, Sopranos, Breaking Bad. That is as good as it gets.
I'm just saying, if there's no party down here and it's me and Ann Shear, I ain't watching a lot of it.
Am I supposed to believe? You guys have a party because
I don't
it's
like
Wednesday
either team.
down there.
What the hell do I want to watch for?
Well, no, I believe that if it's just you and Ange, that you might not watch. I still think you might get bored and flip it over just to see what's going on. But also, like I just said, you guys have a party because it's Wednesday down there.
You got parties coming out of your ears.
We're done, though. We're done.
Yeah, you're done hosting. You're not done going.
And your daughter also.
That's what I'm saying. We're done hosting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm done hosting.
Somebody's ponying up.
Yeah, somebody's going to host a party. It's a Super Bowl.
Everyone's got heels. Everyone has heels dug in.
You got made fun of because, like, your crew down there partied so much that you wanted to do a dry January, and you got bullied into doing a damp January. You're telling me that group's not watching the Super Bowl and drinking in 2 weeks?
Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out. Maybe they're just holding out.
I mean,
but we're out. We're out.
Where would your money be, Josh? Is Chewy going to be at a Super Bowl party in 2 weeks?
I've already placed a wager on he's going to watch the game, he's going to consume wine, and there will be multiple people that aren't of his nuclear family around.
Where are you guys watching?
I'll probably just be watching at home. Probably.
I don't really do Super Bowl parties. I got to get up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, I'm doing. So the game's at 5:30, right? 5:30 Central.
Yeah, I think so.
I think that's right. I'm on from 4 to 6 on ESPN Radio that day. So I'm going to get done with my shift. I'm going to go home and I'm going to watch the game. I'll probably have a buffalo chicken dip that I make. Done that the last couple of years
BCD.
For the Super Bowl that me and my wife enjoy, and kick back and watch the game. That's like the one game she might pay attention to when it comes to football.
Okay. Well, we'll see. I'll keep you updated.
Also, we have somebody on the Carblers Talking text line, 800-990-3776, WIAA Insider, saying, I use the, quote, chip in the ball technology as a profession. When the ball is covered up and not visible to the antennas, the accuracy bounces. That is hard to rely upon that. So even if you had, antenna trying to tell you where it was because there were just bodies on bodies on bodies on Josh Allen yesterday, probably wouldn't have been able to use it.
Okay.
So just as some information. We'll check out, see what we put on the polls as we continue here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
Ready for a win? Well, it's your year. At Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you could win over $2,000 in free play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games and you might take the stage in the It's Your Year game show. 25 winners each Thursday. There's $300,000 in cash and prizes up for grabs this January. Yeah, we think it's your year. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old to play.
Texting enrolls you in recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Leaving for the gym so early?
I'm ready to go.
Since you started taking Nugenix Total T, you've been acting like when we met in our 20s.
I feel like myself again. Lower testosterone after turning 40 slowed me down. Nugenix Total T has been a game changer for me.
What is it about Nugenix Total T that's different?
It's a key ingredient called Tesnor. It boosts free and total testosterone to help you get back the drive and energy from your youth. Total T is backed by 5 clinical studies.
I've seen the huge difference it's made for you in the gym, at work, and in the bedroom.
I'm so glad I sent them a text for my complimentary bottle. Text ROCK to 321321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Nugenix is the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and we'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever. Absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321321. That's ROCK to 321321.
It started with a prediction.
Gonna go out there and play basketball and win.
And how many games?
6.
It became the culture.
Chance of Bucks in 6.
Being a Bucks fan means you live and breathe Bucks in 6. Brandon Jennings created the prophecy. Tune into Behind the Bucks, the story of Brandon Jennings on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, and streaming wherever you get your podcasts.
That's for the culture.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 855-620-1801. That's 855-620-1801. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Josh said it's garbage.
I'm so glad that Josh is getting a front row seat.
He said it doesn't work.
Chewy,
am I right or wrong?
We call that a setup in the biz.
On 94.5 ESPN.
Another text on the Carpless Talking text line as we were talking about chip in the ball technology. How does the NFL do this? A good chime in here by Mike. How about we define a catch? Catch, interception, incomplete pass? That was a huge play. The joint reception that was eventually ruled on that they credited Xavier Worthy with a catch. I have no idea how that got upheld. Not as like an interception or a catch, because I don't know who had possession. The ball clearly hit the ground, and then nobody had possession of it, and it was very strange. That to me was even stranger than whatever they ruled on Josh Allen not getting the first down.
I also think the lack of clarity on the sky judge thing and when that gets used, how it gets used, it just like sometimes people get to keep their challenges.
Yeah.
just because the Sky Judge determined quickly it was an incorrect call. I don't understand that at all.
They need to clarify that, big guy. Transparency is good.
And all the calls went Kansas City's way, right? Every call. Now there was a token call. I forget what it was. It was a stupid
just to throw you off the scent,
just
right?
a dumb here, we'll throw you a crumb. I forget what the call was, but it's just all right, great.
It's hard for me to remember because I don't watch the game looking for things to be upset about, which seems like where we are right now in terms of the culture at large. What can I see here that's going to piss me off? And if you look hard enough, you'll find it eventually.
Hey, you should try it. It's a good way to watch a game.
And I'm not even singling out you. You're not on Twitter.
Yeah, well, you can.
He just admitted it.
If you're on Twitter or social media really at all, it is pervasive. Every call, regardless if it's accurate or not, sometimes it's just the right call.
Yeah.
And then there'll be thousands of people agreeing that it wasn't right because, it goes against what their prior held beliefs are.
All right, here is what we put on the polls today at Jen Gabe Chewy on Twitter. Who are you rooting for in the Super Bowl? Chiefs, three-peat. Eagles or no one? No one has 50% of the vote. Eagles at 26.7%, and then the Chiefs at 22.9%.
Okay.
So
Put me in the 50.
A lot of people like you, Chew, but I'm guessing a lot of people are still going to find a way to watch that Super Bowl in 2 weeks.
Although I didn't really want to see Buffalo against Washington.
You did not?
No.
I think
I did.
Race.
So wait, okay. So what Super Bowl matchups were you okay with? You're not okay with this one.
Bills-Eagles.
Yeah, and I wanted Buffalo. I was pulling for Buffalo to win.
So Bills-Eagles is about the only Super Bowl you've been cool with.
Yes. Just because I don't think Washington belonged.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? I mean, they're not that. And I'll tell you this. I think Jaden Daniels is going to be a better version of Lamar Jackson.
You has he said that yet on the show? I feel like you've said that before, but you are on the record. I am because you think he's just a better passer.
I just think he's a better passer. Their legs are about the same, although Lamar uses them a little bit more, but I think that kid's going to be real good.
Is having infinite 74.1% of people saying yes, it is.
I looked it up. It is infinite.
No.
Yeah.
You run out of room.
No, because inherently you're taking half of the room left in infinity.
I don't think so. It's like when you look in a mirror with a mirror, how far does that go?
Oh, that's
Is that infinite?
Yeah.
Huh?
What do you
Josh?
What do you mean? What's infinite?
Well, the looking into the mirror and then the mirror and then the mirror and then the mirror. There are famous paintings and pictures like that.
Oh, that way. I was going to say, when I look in a mirror, the end is the wall behind me.
Yeah, but if you put another mirror there.
Put another mirror there.
It just keeps going back and forth.
Yeah. See, this is, you're coming around to deep thinking.
Deep thinking with Chew on a Monday. How close are the Packers to the Super Bowl? In the neighborhood, in the same county, in the same state, in the same country? Most people, 41% people saying in the county, which is a few players away.
Isn't in the neighborhood better?
In the neighborhood would be closer, would just be a player or two away. So
they're in the neighborhood.
18 points. Yeah. Okay, Chewy saying in the neighborhood. And then finally, what grade would you give Matt LaFleur's coaching this season? 63.2% seeing B+ to B-. So most people in that B range that I think we were all kind of settling on. When we discussed this earlier today, I'm sure Wilde and Tausch will continue this conversation. Coming up next, 94.5 ESPN.
Some delays still on eastbound 94, basically from about 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. Maybe a quick pocket of heavy traffic southbound 43 right past Locust. We do still have this accident northbound 4394 right about at Howard Avenue. This has got the left lane blocked, so things are going to be backing up towards the Mitchell interchange. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, very windy, increasing clouds with a high of 41. Tonight, isolated evening sprinkle or flurry, breezy with a low of 25. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
Monica, we've got to hand it to you.
You and the design team have outdone yourselves.
Are you talking about the One collection?
Those rings say you are the one.
And they say it symbolically.
Describe the symbols.
Every ring in the One collection should be presented with a special ritual.
What would that ritual be?
You pick up her left hand and you place a kiss on her ring finger.
Rick, you never told me about that part.
Then you show her the tiny red diamond, flush mounted inside the ring, that will forever be in contact with her finger.
Why is it red?
Because that's when the giver says to the one, wherever you go, my heart goes with you.
I give you this kiss. I give you my heart.
The red diamond is a secret symbol of that sacred moment.
The center diamond on the outside of the ring is for the whole world to see.
But the tiny red created diamond inside the ring is only for the two of them.
The One collection of engagement rings is available exclusively at Kessler's.
To find the Kesslers nearest you,
visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Bruston Nortman every day from 2 to 5, WKTI and WKTI